All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live, and this is actually our very last interview in the series, our fall series, where we're talking to children's book authors. My name is Maria Dismondy, and I'm coming to you from Cardinal Rule Press. We are a children's publishing company. We've been offering this series to help inspire all of the aspiring writers who are out there who think that I want to write a book, but it seems like that dream is out of reach. So these interviews have been very inspiring and intentional for those who are dreaming of writing. So today we have Jami.
Gigot.
Gigot, yes, Gigot. I wanted to make sure I said it correctly. And I'm thrilled to hear about her journey because it's a very unique and interesting one. So Jami, welcome.
Thank you, Maria. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, and where are you tuning in from?
I am in Vancouver, British Columbia.
Very cool, very cool. And you used to live here in the States, correct?
Right. I'm originally from Madison, Wisconsin. I grew up in the Midwest.
Very cool. I'm in Detroit, so same kind of, area. Mm-hmm. But in BC, you have similar weather, don't you?
Surprisingly, we do not get much snow, actually, because we're coastal. So everybody thinks it's the Great White North, but we have mountains nearby, but it's a lot of rain, kind of similar to Seattle.
Okay. Well, very cool. So let's dig in, Jami. Let's talk about you as a child. Were you a reader? Were you a writer? Were you into art and creating?
I was always really into books. I loved books as a kid. I was an avid reader and I still read a lot. And I always loved art too. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So at what point when you were going off to, let's say, maybe, I don't know if you studied in college, what was your first experience where you said, I think I want to follow this passion for my career?
So I didn't really think about picture books as a career for a long time, not until my children were actually born. So only a few years ago. But I initially got into film and animation. So I've always had this really big passion for sort of the relationship between words and pictures, I guess.
Very cool.
And hadn't really thought about picture books. And then when I found it, after I was reading, picture books to my kids, I was like, wow, this is it. This is the medium for me.
Okay.
And that's when I started to become really passionate about picture books.
Okay, so let's go back just a few years, that period of time where you were in animation. Tell us about that experience.
So I went to school for digital animation. I actually graduated from high school right around the time that Toy Story came out. Oh. And I was like, oh, this is so cool, and I really wanted to get into that. And so I went to school for digital animation. And then I've been working in the visual effects industry and the film industry for, the last 16 years or something, 17 years.
And I bet you've seen so many changes over that time.
Oh, yes. Technology's changed a lot. So I was always really into story and sort of words and pictures. But I think at some point I kind of also really wanted to tell my own stories. And I was sort of contributing to somebody else's vision, even though it's great fun, but I kind of wanted to start writing my own stories and telling my own stories. And I thought picture books was such a great way to do that.
Oh, that's really neat. And you have like a really cool, what would I say, resume of jobs that you worked on. So I know we actually just more recently watched the movie The Wasp. I know that was something.
Yeah.
And Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, is that the one, the newer version, right?
Right, the Johnny Depp one. Yes, I worked on that as well.
And tell us, what were some other ones? I'm not remembering all of the cool films.
I actually worked on Avatar, if you can believe that, many years ago. But of course, with 1,000 other people. Mm-hmm. And recently, I've been working on. I just finished Aquaman, actually. So I'm sort of still doing visual effects, and I'm managing picture books and being mom. So it's been really crazy, busy days for me lately.
Yeah. And so is that something you can do at home then when you're working in the film industry? It's like remotely from your own home?
No, I have a studio office downtown.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. So we'll kind of move into, you had children, and tell us about your children, ages, gender.
So my son just turned 7 and my daughter is 9.
Okay. And at what point did you say, because you were reading books to them and that was part of your routine, and you said, I have an idea for a book and I'm going to go for it?
Well, in fact, it was, so May and the Moon, my first book, was, my daughter is May. So my kids are May and Seb, actually. So May said to me, we were playing softball. My husband and I are in a softball league. And she kept saying, the moon is following us. The moon is following us. And that sort of inspired me to write this poem one night. I just kind of came out with it. I wrote this poem and I thought, wow, I really love this idea. And so I initially had sent that off as a poem, funny enough. And I thought, I really want to turn this into a picture book. So I started illustrating. I did a couple of illustrations and I made a little dummy book and I started sending that out. And Ripple Grove Press wanted to publish it.
And what year did that come out? 2007?
That came out in 2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that was May and the Moon, and then Step in the Sun, that one came out more recently, correct?
That just came out in last March.
Okay. And tell us about that story. And do you have the books to hold up?
Oh yeah, I do. Hang on just 1 second. They're right behind me on my shelf. Yeah, I'll take these out so I don't pull it off.
I want everyone to see how beautiful. Oops. I don't have them in my possession, but I've seen them before because I know the illustrator, Rob.
Let me put these back in.
Okay.
So.
And I love this because we have not worked in this series. In this series, I have not had many individuals who've been both illustrator and author. So you're like a 2-for-1. Oh, look how beautiful.
Hang on, I put them in the wrong ears. There we go. Okay, so this is May and the Moon.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Cover picture book. Oh my goodness.
And this is Seb in the Sun here.
Now tell us a little bit about Seb in the Sun. That one I have not read.
Yeah. So Seb in the Sun is about a little boy who lives in a sort of cold winter type town environment, sort of, like BC can be sometimes in the winter, dark and cold. And he goes on an adventure to try to find the sun. He wants to bring warmth and light back to his town. So him and his walrus friend go on an adventure.
Very cool. Very cool. So you have these 2 ideas, and I know you have another book coming out, I think, next year with Albert Whitman.
I do. I have a book called Imagination Vacation, which is coming out next fall, which I'm super excited about. And I'm full on doing final artwork for right now.
My goodness.
Yeah, which is it. But I'm really excited about this project. I just finished the cover for it. So hopefully we'll be able to announce that pretty soon and start putting that out there. And then I have another book deal that I actually just signed, which isn't going to be coming out until 2021, which seems ages away.
It does, but the publishing industry.
I know. It's amazing. It's such a long lead time for some of these things. And that is going to be a book about the life and, it's inspired by the life and lyrics of David Bowie.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. And so you signed that deal. And what publisher is that with?
That one is with Henry Holt for Young Readers.
Very cool. Yes. So is it realistic or historical fiction or, right?
No, I would say it's inspired by him. It's pretty, it's inspired by his life and his lyrics. And I'm a huge fan, so I'm super excited about that. Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah. So what is your art style? Like, what materials are you using? Because being in film and animation, it's digital, correct? You're doing most of your work digital.
Yeah, I kind of, so for my film work, I've always kind of been a digital painting. And so that was the medium that I'm most comfortable with. So I do most of my work digitally, although I've been trying to experiment more with other mediums. So I've been using some watercolor and some, just traditional pencil that I've been kind of mixing a little bit with collage.
Okay.
So kind of, but mostly digital.
Very cool. So what are you, as far as like an author, now that you're in this space, are you out and about doing school visits? Are you able to connect with your readers, or are you doing book signings? What kind of ways are you connecting with your audience?
Yeah, so I have done a few. I'm pretty excited about this coming summer because I just did a project with the BC Library Association where I'm doing some artwork for the Summer Reading Club.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And so out of that, I've gotten some calls from librarians that want me to come and do some workshops with the kids. So I'm going to be doing that a few times over the summer, which I'm really excited about. I love working with the children. It's so much fun.
Very cool. And so I'm just trying to wrap my head around this. So if you have a book coming out next year, you have another book that's just under contract, are you constantly writing? Tell us about like your writing process. Do you have a notebook of ideas? And
I have a notebook on me every minute of the day.
You block out time throughout your week to write and new work? Because I know you're right now, like you said, you're working on final illustrations for your book coming out next year. So how does your process look?
Oof, well, time management is crazy for me. So I'm really busy. I do most of my writing and illustrating after my kids go to bed, honestly. So it's mostly like that 9 p.m. to 12.
I'm that's another as well. And my creative work is in the morning, like 5 a.m. So
I just am not a morning person. I know a lot of people love it and they get up and they say they're fresh and it's true. I mean, sometimes at night.
We need night owls in the world.
I just have a hard time getting up that early.
Okay, so the kids go to bed and you block out time then?
Yes, that's mostly when I do my work.
So do you have some manuscripts that you're working on right now? Or are you kind of putting everything on hold until...
I have a few projects that are sort of in the works, but I'm kind of keeping them on the back burner at the moment because I've just been so busy, but I hope to revisit them a little bit soon. Awesome. After I deliver this work for Imagination Vacation, I want to go back and look at some of them and try to rework them. I feel like they're not quite submission ready. Okay. So I need to work on them a bit more.
And it sounds like when your submission ready looks a lot different than an average author because you're submitting artwork as well, or do you not always do that?
I do, yes. So that it does take more time because ideally what I would like to submit is a sort of rough sketched out dummy book, just, with like a storyboard of everything. And then maybe just one or two finished pieces to give it an idea of what it would look like.
Okay. Very cool. And when you are signing with these publishing companies, do they then have some creative control to say, we love the artwork, but we want to give some suggestions for changes? Or, yeah, okay.
Absolutely. And I'm always willing to work with people. I mean, these people are experienced and their comments are almost always really great. So it's nice to actually have that feedback and, they just want to push your stuff to be better. Right.
Yeah, this is really great. I feel like you got into the industry and you hit the ground running is really how you can explain your work.
Well, I kind of, I feel like I entered the picture book thing a little bit late. Like I kind of wish I would have known even earlier that this was because I really, once I found it, I was like, yeah, this is really what I want to do. So I've kind of, now since I figured it out, I've been sort of running with it. Yeah.
But one of the things we've been talking with other authors and illustrators in this series is that our journey in the time that our journey from childhood, our journey through college, or our schooling really brings us to where we're at today. So you probably need that time and space.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah, that's probably true. And it's amazing how many different things. I know, you were talking to some people like that have come through from architecture or from teaching, or there's so many different things that have sort of prepared authors and illustrators for what they're doing now, right?
Motherhood.
Motherhood, absolutely.
Motherhood is a big one. It gives you a lot of ideas.
Yeah. No kidding. No, you're absolutely right.
Oh, Jami, this has been wonderful. I'm really appreciative of your time today and sharing your story with everyone else.
Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for having me. And
we're gonna keep our eyes out to see what you have in store in the future. And I'll be sure in the comments below to link to some of your books and your website so people can see your work.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks again, Jami. Have a great day.
Okay. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everybody.
Right here, isn't it?
Yeah, right around the corner.
Oh my goodness. Let's go get ready.
All right. Okay. Take